I'm Daniel Rachel, and I'm here with Rankin Roger of The Beat in his home with his cats, here to promote and talk about the Beat's second album of recent times, Public Confidential, which is neatly acting as a disguise for the notes and questions and areas we're going to be talking about. How did the process of the album come about?
Yeah.
What's the starting point?
It was written the same way as the last one was, which was a combination of me and Mick Lister. And we got together, wrote a couple of songs out of the blue and just got them sounding beatish, which is what I've always wanted. You know, so beat tunes should sound beatish.
And they really do across the album. I mean, Mick's co-written half a dozen of the tracks with you.
Yeah.
And particularly the track "Who's That Looking?"
Yeah.
Yes, I'm not that familiar with the record.
That's right. No, that's fine.
But that track itself.
Yes.
If Beat fans were trying to, were hoping that there's the sound of the Beat from 1979, 1980. Here it is in this track because the echoes of "Mirror in the Bathroom" are particularly strong.
Oh, they reek of it.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, as I mean, you know, you can hear a lot of the Mirror in the Bathroom influence within the album, and the other songs sound like the first album as well, because that's the place I wanted to take it, you know. And
what makes you want to go back to the first album sound of the Beat, say, as opposed to Wappen or Special Beat Service?
Wow. It's a fact that the first album, I Just Can't Stop It, was a classic. And, you know, it's the best album I think we've ever wrote. And obviously that was because, you know, that was the first tunes we had. But the vibe of the Beat when it first started is what appeals to me. You know, not the second or the third album necessarily.
Yes.
You know. But a combination of the whole thing I loved, you know, and obviously I live we do a couple of tracks, you know, from the first album, well, from the second album and the third album, but it's predominantly the first album we do.
And there's a fantastic ad-lib in that track where when you introduce the saxophone.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us about it?
Well, they just I guess I say, saxophone, come in and blow the place down. I mean, I almost sound like a terrorist, you know what I mean? But it's, you know, it's obviously, these were ad-libs, I had many of them.
You mentioned the Mick as your co-songwriter on half a dozen of the tracks.
Yeah.
How does that process work between the two of you? I mean, can we imagine that Mick writes the music and you write the words, or is it more collaborative? I mean, how does it? What the genesis of a song?
It's like,
is there a pattern?
Last time we met up to do these, you know, do this album, you know, I met him in the city centre, and he walked out the station, and it was the first day of sunshine. He went, "It's a nice day for sunshine," and that was it. You know, we had the first tune for the album that we didn't have any ideas which other tunes were going to be on it, what we were going to be writing. That's the first thing we got working on when we got together this second time.
And first time I heard that track, it reminded me of all those times I used to hear the Beat on Radio 1 in concert doing the summer parties.
Yes.
It's got that exuberant summer feeling, hasn't it?
It's got a best friend kind of feel about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that's great. That's, you know, any tune that sounds like the Beat and has that sound is going to be on that album.
There's a great family connection that runs through Public Confidential, particularly in the track Skank Away.
Yeah, there is.
Tell us about who's on that, who wrote it, who produced it.
Yeah, well, I produced it, obviously, and Murphy, or Rankin Jr., as most people know him, he kind of wrote the lyrics.
Which is your son?
Yes, that's right, yes. Him and his sister are both on it, his sister Saffron, and they do a wonderful job, you know, and it's just kind of getting some family feature in there, you know, not for the sake of it, but because it sounds good, you know.
And were there any moments in the recording with Dad as producer where it becomes Dad as opposed to Rankin Roger?
Not with Junior, it doesn't.
Right.
I think Saffron was a bit more nervous when she was doing her part. But Junior's so used to me, you know, we're more like mates than, you know, I'm his old man, you know. It's a lot like mates, so...
Well, let's talk about the track Dangerous.
Yes.
Which is one that you wrote on your own.
Yeah.
And within that, perhaps you won't tell me the line directly, but you talk about flashing a knife, don't you?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us the lyric of that?
You think you is a bad man when you flash for your knife, right? Next thing me know, you take another man's life, right?
And it has incredible pertinence, this lyric, because we're living in a period at the moment where knife crime is incredibly on the up.
That's right.
And you're focusing right in on that problem. Is it what led to the writing?
It's
those
not my
words?
experience of knives. It's the experience of you know, changing people from being bad people to good people. You know, and that's why I say them boys say them dangerous, artificial and dangerous. You know, and then walking down the road with the gun in your waist. Next thing you know, you want to shoot up the place. Well, them boy is dangerous, you know what I mean? So I'm showing people, you know, and then the next verse I go into, I'm a rebel, but I am is a rebel, you know what I mean? It's like you're showing people like you're rebellious, but it doesn't mean you have to be violent with it.
Yes.
You know, and you can do it in a unified, a proper way, you know, in a people way.
This track, this album, also marks 40 years
That's right.
since The Beat released their first single on Two Tone.
Yeah.
And obviously The Beat were hugely socially and politically conscious, talking about the times and the troubled times of Birmingham in the late 70s, early 80s. And here we are again, 40 years later, and you're talking about not dissimilar situations.
Maybe it's all I know. But to tell the truth, you know, a lot of the things I do know comes with life, you know, and I write what I see in life, you know, so it means that after 40 years it's still the same, nothing hasn't changed. There's probably new things in new places, but it's still the same kind of mentality. Yeah. The
lead track on the new album is called Maniac, which received a lot of radio play. It really jumps out on radios. Who are you directing that song at? Who is the Maniac? What is the Maniac?
Theresa Maniac. You know, I mean, it could be. It's to all world leaders, but you know, it's like really a Trump. It's based on, you know, because he spoke of his walls of Jericho, which obviously is the wall of Mexico, which he wants to pull up. And so it's in tune with the times. It's like, you know, don't tell me what to do, you know. Don't tell me what to do with my life. Everyone should live their own life, you know, as long as they're doing it in a peaceful manner.
Perhaps we should, before we wrap up talking about the record, we should introduce some of the musicians who are part of this new Beat.
Yeah.
If you'd seen the Beat play over the last couple of years, you may see one drummer or another drummer.
Or sometimes both.
Or sometimes both.
Yeah.
In fact.
Yeah.
So tell us about who drums on this record and a little bit about them.
We have Oscar Harrison, who's on drums, and he plays for Ocean Colour Scene.
And the Birmingham link continues on the behind the kit with Fuzz Townsend.
That's right, absolutely. And he's from Car SOS on Channel 4, which he's one of the presenters. And I mean, I think he was in, the first time he came to America, he was in my band, which is like 1986 or something like that. So he played on my first album, which was Radical Departure, I think it was called.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Him and Horace from the Specials, there's two of them, and Nigel Darville from the Fine Young Cannibals, he was on that as well, and Bobby Bird, who I'll come to next.
Yes.
Who's now
nice link, Roger.
That's right. Who's in the band right now. And a few years ago, so about 3 years ago, I saw him and he was outside our gig. He didn't even know we were playing the Town Hall in Birmingham. And so I met him and I went, well, you know, you should be playing for us, man, because you play this kind of music, you know. I knew he could. And he joined the band, picked up his guitar again, and you know, he's been in ever since. And what a lovely African style guitar he plays, and it comes with the effects, which are, you know, echoes and the stuff, the psychedelia stuff, which I really love. We've got Andy Pearson, who plays bass guitar. He's solid. And then we've got Andy Perris, who's lead guitarist or guitarist, the other guitarist. And he's been playing with us, you know, for a year now or something. And
finally, I hear that there's potentially going to be a dub version of the album.
Well, we're working towards it. Yeah,
Great.
We are working towards it. And oh gosh, I wish I could give you a taste, but.
I mean, is it for old Beat fans? I mean, is this going to be like because the Beat made fantastic extended versions, didn't they? Originally,
well, we've done them
inches.
ourselves, but then we've got other people to do these. But the one person we have been working with is Dubmatics, and he's absolutely brilliant, man. So I just thought, if we bring out a dub album, we have to have this guy on it, and got through to my management. They got through to him easy enough. And, you know, he's done some cracking tracks. We've only given him 3 tracks, but we might give him some more.
Okay, and so very finally, if you were going to put you on the spot, if somebody was going to come to this record, to your band for the first time, what's the track you'd say?
Who's that looking?
Put that one on.
Who's that looking?
Yeah.
You know, because that one really moves like a bullet to me. And like once the chorus comes in, or the second chorus, it just rocks the place. Like, I mean, I can just imagine that on stage. You know, it'd be chaos. Game over.
Brilliant. Thanks, Roger.